Hello, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Haunted Locations. I'm Mallory, and I'll be your guide as we explore this haunted location. Today we will share with you the folklore and history of Riverdale Road in between Thornton and Brighton, Colorado. Today we have with us two eyewitnesses to some of the strange happenings that have happened here at Riverdale. So let's begin. Today we are here with Joseph Milnes and Angela Romero, and they have been here and seen some strange things happen. So can you guys just tell us what made you come here at first?
Well, back in 2007, it was my senior year of high school. It was rumor around the school that, and among my friends, that this whole road was haunted, and there was stories of a lady in a white dress that you could see if you drove by at night, and like stories of like people getting in really bad car accidents on the road, and just overall hauntings in general, just weird stuff, lots of rumors. So I wanted to check it out myself. I got curious. I was 18 at the time, so it was something more of like, I didn't believe in it, so it was just more curiosity. I wanted to see if I could see something because I was really curious. And that's when that year I was working with at Sonic with her, Angela, and we used to get off late, and I told her about it, and we started having experiences here. And then we finally came here together one time, and we had our initial actual experience with the entity that revealed itself to us.
How many times have you guys came out here?
We've been here numerous times. I'd say at least over 20, both individually and with friends and family and stuff. Only a handful of times that we've been here have we seen it manifest itself in shadow form, running across the fields really fast, disappearing in a flash of light, or running through the fields where you can't see it, but you can see it, and you can see it moving in between trees and stuff, and or the initial time when we had seen it reveal itself full on as a person. So I would definitely say quite a numerous amount of times, and yeah, very familiar with this place.
The 11-mile stretch of winding Riverdale Road in between Thornton and Brighton, Colorado is known to local tales as haunted by almost every supernatural being imaginable. All you have to do is search on the internet for Riverdale Road in Colorado, and this is what you will find. A ghostly white lady, phantom joggers, demons, talking animals, devil worshippers, witch hangings, and even the gates of hell. If this is true, Riverdale Road is one of the most haunted places out there. With so many stories about this road, we'll focus on one, the gates of hell. The gates of hell have been reported all over the world, including right here in Adams County. Local reports put the gates of hell at the northern end of Riverdale Road, where it gets distinctly more hilly. The hills apparently surround the building where local teens say is the gates of hell. Local lore says that the building was used to do some odd rituals, one of which including the murder of a child. The gates of hell is very hard to find. At this moment, we have no information to back up the cult being involved in the murder of a child. With such a strange past of you guys coming out here, has anything happened to you outside of Riverdale?
Yeah, so after our first experience that we had here, here behind this fence, where the entity revealed itself, it attached itself to us, and it started following us when we were together. It would manifest itself in the form of a shadow against the fence pointing at us, and then it manifested in other ways, like attempted possessions in our dreams, and it revealed it to itself as a demon or a ghost in our nightmares, and even as individuals alone. It was a problem for about 4 years after that event, and it lingered and followed us. No matter where we went, we were under attack.
Oh wow. What was maybe the scariest moment for you guys throughout everything that happened?
I think the scariest moment, the whole thing is scary. And it started off with one big scary event, and it just got scarier. The first time that we saw the entity was one night when we had gotten off of work. We were working at Sonic, and we got off late, and we were hanging out, and she wanted to bring a friend with her that said she could see things, like she was clairvoyant or something. and but she wasn't really trained. She was just really open, and so we brought her with us. I brought some playing cards that I used to use as a tool for prediction. It was some old gypsy thing. It was just fun for me. It was something I used to do back in the day, and so we all came down and we parked right here at the fence, and it was like a full moon. It was really bright out with the moonlight, so we were able to see what was in front of us, and I laid out the cards on my trunk doing a reading for her, and that's when we started hearing footsteps, and we're like, Angela, stop moving, we can't hear, you know, I'm trying to talk, and she's like, I'm not moving. And we were like, okay, whoa, stop, and we all stopped, stood still, and in that gravel right there, we heard footsteps walking towards us, kind of slowly, but it was like crunch, crunch, and we heard it coming closer to us, and so we freaked out, and we got into my car, and my car wouldn't start immediately. It was like a scene from a scary movie, and we couldn't just get it to start up right away. And we started hearing this roar around the car, like something was circling around us, like a whoosh, and I felt like there was like things touching the car, and like it was shaking a little bit. There was little rocks dinking at us, and Angela, and our friend April were getting really freaked out. April freaked out first in the back seat, and then for me and the girl saw it together. April, Angela was so scared, she was like praying in her hands, like just saying, let it go away, let it go away. And I said, I'm not scared. And I turned on my headlights, and there was a man standing behind the fence, and he had a white top hat and a white suit like what I'm wearing, but it was just white. And he had a blurry face, you couldn't see his face. And he was staring, he was right in front of me, staring right at me behind the fence. And at Ariel too, because she was right behind me, and he like turned to the right completely and disappeared. And me and April were like, oh my gosh, just that we were so shocked. I had never seen anything like that before in my life. And so that's when we were like, okay, we gotta go. And my car turned on, and we were able to dip out. And then on the drive back home, we could see this purple tint on our hands. It was sunrise, and we could see this purple tint, and it wouldn't go away for at least an hour. And we were able to finally get up to the end of the street and get to the gas station to get gas and just kind of collect ourselves. And there were handprints all over my windows and my car, like little handprints, large handprints. And after that, it got progressively worse, where it manifested again as the shadow against the fence when me and her were hanging out over by my mom's house. And it was the man in the hat, but in a shadow form, pointing at us, like telling something to go our way. And we got this really eerie feeling, this really creeped out feeling, and that's when we dipped. That's when we left that area. And it just, like I said, it got worse after that. We had an experience where we were at a friend's house, and this guy, just we were talking about it, and some guy overheard, and he was lurking in the shadows of like the apartment complex. He was sitting there talking all creepy to us. He had this like weird tint in his eyes, and like they were like black, and he was telling us creepy things like, I've seen what you guys seen, and you'll never defeat it, and like telling us like it's gonna get you, and like I know what's out there, and like just creeping us out. And
he tried to back one of our friends that was with us into like this dark corner, and that's when we caught on to what he was doing, because she started screaming. She's like, I'm not going in that corner.
And we started praying, and he got more aggressive. He started getting more threatening and saying, it's gonna get you, it's following you. And we got scared, and we went and locked ourselves up in her apartment and stayed there for the whole night. And then it manifested other times when we were alone, eventually attacking us individually in our sleep.
That same night was weird though too, because we were looking out over our balcony under the trees, and you could just see like a bunch of shadows just running toward us. It was crazy. And that's when he started talking more.
Yeah, and so I had 2 attempted possessions. I had a destroyed relationship during that time, and that last possession attempt was the scariest because it was a very vivid dream. I felt it was very real, and in my dream I looked behind me, and there he is standing in my window staring at me, but casted as a shadow through my window. And that's when I felt like I jumped back to my body, and I was half asleep, half awake, convulsing in my bed, and I was growling. I was trying to make myself move, and I couldn't. And I was growling like I never could before, like my vocal cords went so deep, and I was shaking, and I eventually ended up passing out, dreaming, like trying to escape. And that's how I realized that was how it successfully got into me. and it attached itself to me. And later down the road, I saw deliverance through the church, and saw exorcism, and that's where I finally found some relief. So I have to say the whole thing was just one big nightmare for both of us. Just, it wasn't ending.
Well, thank you guys for coming out here and joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The infamous mansion, Woolport Mansion, caught on fire Friday, November 28th at approximately 1 a.m. It burnt to the ground. A complete era of history was lost with this mansion. Next time you find yourself driving down Riverdale Road, think to yourself, is this story true or is it just folklore? Thank you for joining us on this episode of Haunted Locations. I'm Mallory, and I'd love to see you again on our next exciting episode of Haunted Locations.